Good morning, Judy here from Thistledew Creations. Welcome back and thanks for joining me. Today I'm going to show you what I'm going to send to Wanda Ford in return for the 2 boxes that she sent me when she was cleaning out her craft room. She's moving, or she's moved already now, and so she was cleaning out, and we've done a few swaps, kind of become long distance friends on Facebook, and talk more via Messenger. Anyway, she was cleaning out her craft room to move and was starting to ask me, do you want this? Do you want this? I'm just going to make you up a box. And so I got quite a bunch of goodies from her. So I waited until she got moved and then asked her, really, now that you've sorted through all your stuff, what do you need? And I will send you what you need. So these are some of the things that she mentioned, and then I added some other things in that I just thought she would like. So first thing is a couple of napkins. We've already done napkin swaps, I think. So I didn't send her one of everything I have, just my newer ones. So I don't think she's had these ones yet, the Native Sisters. There's 4 images there. And these scalloped ones, they're just from the dollar store, but I thought she'd like it because they're unique. And same with the strawberries. I just love strawberries, especially this time of year. I like to use strawberry themed things. And then one of the things she did ask for was vellum. So I just got this little piece in a random act of kindness. And I absolutely love vellum, but I always forget to use it and don't usually know where I've got it stashed. So I will start a vellum folder so that I can find it from now on. But I just thought, while I was connecting the dots, that Wanda wants some and I've got some, that's going in her box. And then she also asked me for some metallic and sparkly papers, as long as the sparkles weren't the kind that come off. So I've got these papers. This is a really nice, it's a Sizzix brand paper that I purchased online a couple years ago when there was this thing online that was mostly women's clothing and shoes, but they had some craft supplies too, and I can't think of the name of it. I think it started with a Z or a Z, and it just won't come to me right now. But anyway, I purchased these packs of paper on a really good price on there. So we've got a charcoal, and then we've got it looks like chrome or stainless steel. And then this one is metallic, but it's just sort of matte all over. It doesn't have those lines in it. And then we've got the same charcoal sparkly paper. And again, this is the Sizzix brand. Nothing's falling off of that. It's not just like the glitter paper from the dollar store. So 2 sheets of that and 2 sheets of the white. This one is even more, it looks like more particle-y, but it still doesn't come off. I just love that. I use that for snow. So hopefully that will get you started, Wanda. And if you have a real use for it, just let me know and we can do another trade. I got more. And then I've got this, a share, common stock share. So you got these were in a binder. You got this little piece that would stay behind in the binder for who it went to and everything. And then that's the share. So a little bit of a vintage ephemera, and that's got writing on the back too. Actually, I should probably photocopy that or scan it before I give it to her. And then I pulled a couple pages out of my fashion dresses book. I was planning to do a few tags with these, and I haven't got around to doing it. So I thought I would share. Maybe Wanda can do some, and we'll both have some to do. I don't know if you're much of a fashionista, but there's all the names there of all the big fashion houses that were in that book. And then we got into, one thing she asked for was ledgers, and I do have quite a collection of ledger paper. So I've given her a sampling. Now this, I've only given you 1 page because I think I only had 1 or 2. So that's that one. Same with the shareholders ledger. I only have a couple, so you're getting 1 of those. And then I threw in some of this primary school paper. A little bit of tracing paper. And then this is vellum graph paper. And that's ledger size, that's why it's folded. And then this looks like a misprint, but what it is it's a graph paper, but it's to practice your writing. If you're doing calligraphy, it's to practice and get your letters all even, the right height and the right width and spacing, etc. And then some just normal green ledger. This is modern paper. I do my dad's books and we use these kinds of ledgers. And every year there's, several pages left in the book, but not enough to do the next year. So these ones just get torn out and used. And then this is out of a little binder that I found at a thrift store. And it's a ledger, like a small ledger. So I've given you about 6 pages of that. And then a couple pages of this, which is three copies, 3 different colors of a receipt that you would write out if you sold something to someone. And then out of a small hardcover ledger book, these came out nicely with the glue still attached. And these ones are out of a spiral bound Treasurer's Cash book. So these are older, and I've found these at thrift stores. And then a small section, I think it's still about 6 sheets of this graph paper that has these lines, like it's some sort of a tally sheet or something. And then some smaller green ledger that's out of a little hardcover book. And again, they came out all as one, which is fine. And same thing out of a tall hardcover ledger book. And these ones have the numbered pages. And this one has numbered pages as well. And it's a train order book. I thought that was really unique. And this one is green or blue paper with green and red lines and some, I think those are all green lines. But definitely some sort of a ledger out of a 3-ring binder. And then a different style of receipt. And again, there's 3 copies, 2 bundles, but 3 colors of each one. And then this is a little bit larger than an 8.5 by 11, and it's again numbered pages and white paper with the red and the pink, or blue and pink. And this one's out of a binder, blue line, and it's got the green lines and some red lines. So many different types of ledger, and you wonder, why do we need so many? But I'm sure they all have specific uses. And then here's another one of like longer page, and it's blue line as well. This one was off a pad that had the glue up at the top. You get like 6 of each of those. And then some, looks like homemade paper. I think it's mass produced, but it does look like a homemade style paper with the real texture to it. And a few different colors. Colors I don't really use much. And then 1 cream one. I kept another cream one for myself because that I will use. And then this paper I thought was really neat. I'm pretty sure I got this at a thrift store as well. It was called unicorn paper or something like that. It was a manufactured thing, but it does kind of have a handmade paper quality to it. And then there's another piece of just plain vellum. And there's a piece of like a handmade rice paper kind of thing. Nice tans and creams. And then I found this stack where I had some blue, some pale yellow, and some pale pink paper. So I just thought I would share some of that. Those are great colors. And then this was the other thing that Wanda had asked me for, was some of this wallpaper that I purchased recently when I went to Ottawa at the end of May. And it's got all the little vintage advertisements and different types of borders. And I left it for you to do the cutting, Wanda, just so that you could, it's part of the experience of junk journaling is cutting out the things. And then a few black sheets with gold lines that are meant to be coloring pages. So you can use the gold side or you can use the plain side. Black paper is always handy to have. I thought this one was neat with the little houses and the boat. I would love to see that done up in East Coast colors. And what's this one? Just scrolls and flowers. And that one's birds. And another one with bird, a big bird. I don't do much coloring myself, but I keep buying the coloring books. And then a top 10 list and a fan on an orange card, kind of a cardstock. And then just lined paper on this side and Man You're Cool on the other side. So those were together in the book. And then in that same book, there was this, it was a smash book. And that's another piece of vellum. So you might not care for the writing, I don't know, but there's plenty of around the edges. Even this strip down here would be cool to glue into a book. That's the same of all these ones where we tear them out. This blue strip with this torn paper looks neat down the edge of a page. And so this is something about footprints and protect. It was a woman book, a book about women, women's journey. So there was some of these really neat pictures in there. So I gave you a few of those. And this one is vellum. Beautiful. And then a book about Toronto. I just tore into it and gave you some old buildings and a horse and buggy. And then again, some more streetscapes. And then out of an old herb book, Flowers and Herbs. We got a few pages. Flowers of the Desert. And some water lilies. And I thought these ones would be quite useful in the squares, whether you use them together or separate them out. And then a children's book, a couple of pages out of a children's book with a few different characters. And then there's another children's book, a really old one, good for winter themes, playing in the snow. And this one is out of a children's book, Algie and the Bear. And these are short little free rhymes. The Centipede and the Frog. I've never heard of that one either. Cats of Kilkenny. And then also a children's book, very old, black and white. So hopefully you can use the children's stuff too, Wanda. If not, you can pass it on to someone else in Happy Mail. And then this is out of a book on aircraft, which I probably shouldn't have torn up because it was looks like quite a fabulous book. But really all I'm looking for is the paper is really super smooth without being glossy. It's really a unique paper. And it just would make great book page. A few little clocks that you can cut out. This was a Robert Bateman book that I picked up for $1. So there's some great pictures, close-ups of, what is that, a falcon or something? And then a black and white section out of that book, which has really nice quality paper. So you could use some of the blank spots, some of the book page. Like, it really feels cool when you run your hand over this paper. It has like a, it's not a grid, it's lines that go this way. Very, very fine, like ribbed. Just feels so good. Ribbed for your pleasure, Wanda. And then we have a stack of suitcases. I think these are coloring pages as well. Bicycles, a coconut drink, paper doll clothing. I don't think there was a paper doll. You'll have to draw the doll or find one that fits. A pineapple and a street scene. And then, oh, there's another napkin. I love these ones. These almost feel like They're really thick. They're 2 layers, but they're really thick, and they have the texture all over them instead of just around the edges. I love these kind. I think I'm going to use some of these today. Just get some glued down to something. And then the last thing for the stack of paper is some map pages out of my atlas book. I have a nice big atlas book, and they have these really pretty colors. So I thought I would just share some more of that. I've probably given it to you before, but that's okay. And this is all going to be probably, some of it will need to be bent. I'm not going to fold it any further, but I'll bend it in half and put it in a small sized flat rate postage box. I have an extra small, but it is too small for some of these papers, so I'm going to have to grab a small one tomorrow. Get it in the mail to you. And so then I have a couple of things that I made I wanted to include as well, not just craft supplies, but little gifts. So this little envelope is one that I made. It's just napkin over top of vintage music paper, and then I've made it into a little pouch. Decorated the flap. I like to decorate the flap with something a little heavy so it just stays closed by itself. And then inside I've put 5 of my little stacked flowers for Wanda to play with. And that one has a bent petal. Let's fix that. There we go. So that's that little gift. And then this, I gave her one of my accordion storage folders. This one's covered in collaged cardstock. Just all neutrals. You can decorate it however you'd like, Wanda. Maybe if you want to store flowers in it, you put a flower on the front. Or if you were going to store birds in it, you'd put a bird on the front. Or if you were going to store scraps in it, you could store these scraps. Like you could keep little scraps of music, book page, and, you know, other pages, and have them separated into the different little compartments. But in the compartments, I just put a few little goodies. So I've got a wooden flower in that one, and some leaves in this one. We've got 2 metal leaves, 2 different colors, and then like a skeleton leaf. That's a real one. That's, I don't know how they do that, but they get rid of most of the leaf and just keep the veins. And then we've got some pine cone stickers. And these are little pieces of art that I clipped out of an artist tour brochure. I thought you could maybe make use of those. And some little bird and flower, mostly birds here, die cuts with glitter on them. Got those last summer. And then some bird, this is scrapbook paper cardstock, and I've cut those out of a 12 by 12. And that was all in that little pouch. The pouch is really the gift, but I just didn't want to give it to you empty. And I did a little figure 8 closure on that. I really like those ones. And then I've done a video on these. This is a fabric and lace swatch booklet. So it's just the brown cardstock folded in half, and inside we've got one of those closures that you can put papers or whatever you want onto the prongs and then close it up. So you could stack this up higher and higher if your book cover would let you. But I just wanted to do a little sampler of laces and a couple fabrics in there too. I've got this so that I can't get it closed again. It's because of the lace. It won't glide. So So if you're going to do one of these little samplers, don't put lace on the top. Put something smoother. There. So it's got some mauve lace, a part of a tablecloth that's crocheted, some embroidered lace, that a ribbon that I had. It was vintage. This is a piece of one of my mother's old dress-up flappers dresses that we wore when we went in the old cars. She wore when we went in the old cars. And there's a vintage, it's the edge of a tablecloth. It's just the other side of it, I think. And then this is from an old sheet. I'm thinking Simpson Sears, circa 1970 something. And this is just some lace edging that I had. It looks like it was torn off of a garment. And then a piece of sort of almost canvas fabric. And then these are also sheets that I coffee dyed. And I think this was also from Sears, from the Sears catalog. Back in the day, I got it at a thrift store. So that little sampler is coming your way. I realized I send you lots of stuff, but not very many things that I've made. So I wanted to send you some things that I've made. And this is one of my corduroy covered notebooks. This one just has a little strip of like a printed textured fabric on it. And then it's one of these ones with cardstock on the inside. Notepad, pockets in the center. And there's a quote on each page. And then I've signed that. I signed that one too. And this was what she, one of the other things that she asked for was this envelope that I made. This was slated for going to the Barnhouse Bees, but when Wanda said she wanted it, I said, sure, I'll make something else for the Barnhouse Bees one. It's been my project for the summer, getting that stuff done. And then I really had fun making this little card, and there's not much to it. It's just 2 pieces of cardstock back to back, a ticket for the tab, and it has a grommet through it. Not a grommet, an eyelet through it. And then a tuck spot that says, "You are my sunshine," with a little bit of lace that I embroidered these X's onto. You can see the stitching on the back too. And then I made 3 little tags out of the same papers to go in. And actually my intention was to present them with the pink side out. So I've decorated the pink side of the little tags up at the top here. And so those are cute little bookmarks or tags, whatever. I mean, Wanda, all you have to do if you want is just keep this and keep it in the envelope and just love it. That's all you have to do. You don't have to use it necessarily. So that's what I've got set aside so far. I'll probably pick her out a couple other treats that will fit in the box once I get the box started and get it full. I like to make sure they're full, that you could not possibly get another thing in. And so that'll be my goal, but that's the gist of what I'm sending her. And then I've got a lot of other goodies I can throw in at the last minute. So Wanda, it'll be on its way to you next week, which will be the 2nd week of July. So you'll probably have it by the end of July for sure. So if you like seeing different ideas for what to send in Happy Mail, and you like thrift hauls and yard sale hauls and Dollar Tree hauls, as well as crafts, paper crafting and other crafts, do subscribe to my channel. Like, comment, share, and subscribe if you don't mind. And most of all, have a great day and happy crafting.